Hello everybody, my name is Ratnus, and today we're going to take a look at the Ruby Life Pools dungeon. I've run this dungeon twice now, and it's actually a fairly interesting one on the old Dragonflight alpha. It's a short dungeon, there are only 3 bosses in here, and not a huge amount of trash either, although the trash at the start of this dungeon is somewhat nasty. So you've got these primal juggernauts here. They kind of just leave behind earthquakes with these excavating blasts. Other than that, they just have a lot of health, not too much to worry about with them. Then you get to these mobs, though. The Earth Shapers actually have a pretty interesting and annoying effect here, where it's called, like, Quaking Slam. Let's see if we can watch it here on that Flash Frost Earthshaker. Yeah, this Quaking Slam. Not interruptible, although you can stun it or knock it. When it finishes, it knocks everybody back, though, and does some damage. So stopping that is going to be important. But something that's interesting about this area is it also has these chill weavers, just skip ahead here. The chill weavers put a shield on things that makes it so you can't interrupt them or CC them. So that's going to be something where breaking through that or interrupting that quickly, interrupting the ice bulwark that they're channeling on things quickly, so that you can then actually stun the mobs that are doing the important stuff, is going to be pretty important here. So you can see there's also some swirlies on the ground to dodge, some random casts that are going off the tank, taking quite a lot of damage here, and yeah, quite a bit of stuff to dodge in this early area. You can see I'm being forced to move fairly often, and yeah, there's that cast going off, that Quaking Slam. You can see causing huge amounts of problems. So this first area, especially when you're pulling it big, in this group found to be fairly tough. I came in and tanked this dungeon later, and it wasn't too bad. If you were I pulled a little bit smaller than that, though. I didn't pull like 3 packs together. I pulled 2 packs together, and I was focusing on stopping, especially the Quaking Slam, because that seems like the big one that causes problems. Then beyond here, you have a lot more of the same. Another big juggernaut over here. You can pull either side here and skip the other if you want, so you don't have to pull all the trash in this area. I don't know what enemy forces count is going to look like, but I imagine you're not going to need to get all of the trash here at the start of the dungeon. I imagine you'll be able to skip a solid half of the trash that's at the start of this dungeon, because the rest of the dungeon, you pretty much just have to get all the trash after the first boss in order to actually progress the dungeon. So yeah, once you kill a couple more of these chill weavers and stuff, you can skip all of this stuff in the back of the room. But this mini boss here, I actually haven't checked to see if it has True Sight or anything, is something you're going to have to kill, I think. It does this flurry cast where it autos the tank for quite a lot of damage, and also is spawning the fire swirlies on each auto, and then it has that charge as well. There are also these whelp eggs towards the side here that I think when enemies or allies run into them, it's spawning those whelps, so is something to worry about. As you can see, ripping a little bit of threat here on this evoker. Fire evoker actually doing a lot of damage with the left side of their talent tree from logs in here. It was doing a lot of damage. But yeah, there's the mini boss going down. I do assume you'll want to kill that. There's that Quaking Slam you can see, but it's got that shield on it, so we can't even interrupt it. And not even just interrupt like that. It's not normally interruptible. We couldn't even stun or anything to stop that cast. So we all took damage and got knocked back. I think in keys, that's going to be a very vital thing to interrupt. Then, yeah, we could just skip past this and go into boss. Decided not to here, killed another pack. But then, okay, here's the first boss. Melodrussa Chillworn. So this boss has a few mechanics. The first one, it, like, puts a chill storm on a player. When this cast finishes, that puts the chill storm where you were. So you probably want to take that, not where I took it, but actually away from the group. The chill storm starts slowly doing these swirlies and AoE, and then at the end of it, it knocks everybody back and puts out way more of these ground effects. There's also this Awaken Whelps cast, which goes to one of the whelp pools in the corner, and you get to do some nice AoE in the middle of the fight. Your tank gets to hate you while you rip threat on them instantly and start running around to try and avoid them. And then I've also seen somebody getting put in an ice block in this fight. I think that's maybe if you get hit by the swirlies or stand in the ground, but as you can see here, we finished this boss off before too much else happened. Another set of whelps got awakened, but then the boss dies, and you get these dragons, kind of like in Necrotic Wake, to go up to the Necropolis, to go up to the second part of the dungeon. The second part of the dungeon here, you can see the second boss already, Kokia Blaze Hoof, over here, but in order to activate him, he's got 4 stacks of a shield, and you need to kill 4 fire elementals that are around in this big ring up here. And in order to do that, you basically have to go in a big circle all the way around. You kind of have to get all the trash here. These little scorchlings, I guess you could skip. I don't know if they'll give a count each or 0 count each, but they don't really seem to do all that much. These Blazebound Destroyers are the mobs you need to kill all 4 of to activate the boss. They cast Living Bomb on somebody. That person just has to obviously not stack with everybody and get healed. And then the Destroyers and some other mobs in this area do some stuff when they die here. There's Inferno that's just putting a dot and doing damage to everybody. But then when the Destroyer reaches 0 health here, it casts Burnout, as you can see. And as I do not successfully dodge here, it does a lot of damage even on heroic difficulty. So I imagine that's going to be a very one-shot type effect on higher, like in even M0, but maybe M+ as well. We also have Cinder Weavers in this area that just kind of spam cast at you, and Flame Dancers. Flame Dancers have a few annoying things. Some of them can be stopped with stuns, or knock-up stuff. This Flame Dance thing that you can see them doing here, you can see is kind of nuking the tank. But then also when these Flame Dancers get low, they do a similar kind of on-death thing here, this Blaze of Glory, where they do a small AoE around them, so if you get too close to them during this, you'll die, but also they send out a bunch of swirlies that you'll need to dodge. So that's kind of the whole area up here. You just keep killing Elementals and Cinder Weavers and Flame Dancers. You keep going around in a big circle all the way around this outer ring. And then you get to the boss. Okay, so here is going to be the boss momentarily. And this boss wasn't too bad. Actually, it was kind of fun to fight this one. Kokia Blazehoof. Pop some cooldowns, start attacking the boss, and then has 2 major abilities. The first is this Ritual of Blaze Binding, which summons basically one of those elementals. This elemental has uninterruptible Inferno cast that you can see it doing right now. That's just doing damage to everybody. And then it has interruptible Roaring Blaze casts that you are going to want to interrupt, I assume. When it dies, it does also do this big AoE explosion. As you can see, I'm quickly noticing now I don't have interrupt on my bars, and going to find it from my talent tree and spellbook. So I will discuss the other abilities that the boss does whenever I'm done doing that, which I should not have done that while I was recording this video, but anyways, there you can see I put my cool Evoker Interrupt down on 9 on my bar. There's that Ritual Blaze Binding again, so yeah, it just keeps repeating this, summoning the ads, kind of like, and then there's the Molten Boulder. So Molten Boulder gets aimed at somebody in the group, and it drops the boulder towards them, the boulder rolls, and then explodes when it hits a wall. So you need to watch out and make sure that you both aren't getting hit by it while it's rolling, nor are you too close to the wall where it's going to impact, because either of those would be bad. Here's what it looks like when it runs through people. My group helpfully showcasing what it looks like there if you don't dodge it. That's part of why I chose to play with these people, so that we could see what all the mechanics did whenever people messed up how to play against them. So yeah, there's that boss taken care of, and then after this, it's a straight shot to the last boss. You literally just unlock the door, and the dungeon is basically already over. It's a very short dungeon, reminiscent of like Maw of Souls, 3 bosses, 2 of which you just go boss to boss, which is pretty crazy. Very different texture than the other dungeons, and I'm a little bit worried that this one will be like way preferred to be your weekly key because of how quick it is. But yeah, you just get to go straight into the last boss. Last boss does have a few mechanics, a few things that you will need to look out for. A few things that could definitely kill you. You've got to deal with the Drake and the boss. The Drake does that frontal breath that you obviously will want to move out of. It's not instant killy. It channels over time, so you have time to get out of it even if you don't notice. And the boss also casts Winds of Change every so often that will blow you in a random direction. It could be any direction, I think, around this platform. There's also, you can see here, this dot that gets left on people, and then they leave these swirlies to make these fire puddles beneath them. If you run into those fire puddles, you're going to make more swirlies as well, so important to kind of keep those managed. You can see we've got a lot of them spawning because they were under everybody, and now we have a bunch of magma on the ground that we do not want to stand in. Luckily, however, the boss is already dead, but you can see, again, another Winds of Change has come out. It's pushing everybody, and again, we got to make sure that we are being economical with our space here, because those puddles last for 45 seconds, so you could very easily run out of room, especially if you accidentally run in and extend the buff, because I think that standing in those puddles makes you drop more of them. But yeah, that's Ruby Life Pools. Really, again, not a particularly long dungeon. Pretty happy with how it felt. Interesting little healing trinket here that's not yet implemented, where you get to make a Burning Ember on healing somebody. And yeah, that is this dungeon. Hope you enjoyed this little look at it. Let me know what you think about it in the description and stuff. And yeah, thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.